Okay, so we are ready to get started. If you have two blocks, you might like to have them. If you don't have blocks, you'll be okay. I got a request for a little bit of neck shoulder stuff, so we'll work on that. We're also going to do a little bit of kind of core trunk area stability work, which doesn't mean we're going to do crunch ups or anything like that, so don't worry. But we're going to do a little bit in the midsection just to get things a little stronger so that when we're getting into these wintry months, we've got the best of abilities to not slip on the ice or get creaky or achy as things get chillier and chillier. So that being said, find your way onto your mat if you're not there yet. I've got to get my assistant out of the way, but I'll let her be there for a minute. So find a comfortable seat. We'll get started from there. Sit on whatever makes you comfortable, a blanket, a block, anything like that might feel nice. And then palms rest in your lap. Eyes can close down. And first things first, you just settle in and recognize what you have to work with. And based on whether you're arriving on your yoga mat after maybe a stressful or strenuous day or a set of activities, or whether you've got things to do later that are maybe on your mind, just recognize that as part of the equation so that you can consciously take those things, set them aside for now, if only for the hour, and focus instead on your ability to keep the breath slow and mindful, and your ability to keep your mind in this time and space for now, which then allows for you to be more present with your next activity and tomorrow and the next day and so on and so forth. Let your breath get slower and deeper progressively over time, and scan around, see what physically you've brought to the table. Maybe a tight neck or tight shoulders or tight hips. Since we'll look a little extra at the trunk, and when I say trunk, I mean sort of the area from the hips and pelvis up to the shoulders. And we'll kind of branch that up into the neck as well. Notice if you've got a symmetry from right side to left side, or if you tend to round forward or tend to round backward. Some of us, we lean to the right or the left without knowing it. Anything like that could be happening, just pause and recognize so that you can find as much symmetry as you can. And 5 more cycles of breath. Slow, easy, and mindful from here. If you're able, set an intention for yourself. My purpose is blank, or I'm working on blank. Next inhale, palms come together in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra. And then exhale, just lightly bow the head to the hands. Fully connecting to how you feel and what your needs are for the moment, and that'll shift and evolve. So paying attention to the whole experience, and then you can lift the head, float open the eyes, and we'll start nice and slow. I just want you to go right ear, right shoulder. I'll mirror you guys for now, so hopefully it doesn't flip your screen around, but if it does, it's okay to do it in the reverse order too. Right ear, right shoulder, and then spin your gaze down and towards the right. Keep that and tuck your chin toward your chest so you feel this whole left side of neck to shoulder blade kind of lengthening and opening up. And then your right hand is going to lift up and overhead to find the left temple or the left side of the skull. I like the back of the skull You can think of if the skull were a box where the back left corner would be. So I feel comfortable placing my hand there, but you can go farther forward or farther back as desired. And then the left arm is going to reach straight open to the left. You can close your eyes once you get there. Just feel what that's like. Imagine you're growing your left arm longer and farther out in the left side of your space here. And then all you're going to do is point the fingertips down towards the floor. And then point the fingertips up towards the ceiling. So moving from the wrist area and noticing where you get limited. And then repeat. Point the fingertips down towards the floor. And then point the fingertips up towards your ceiling. One more, fingertips point down. And then fingertips point up, flexing and extending at the wrist. And then come back to neutral, so fingertips are in line with the wrist. And you're going to spin your palm to face behind you, like you would do to set up a half bind. And if any of these cues don't make sense, feel free to blink the eyes open, get a visual, and then maybe close them back down. Now keep the shoulder and keep the wrist at the same height. Circle the palm open to face forward. Rotating in and out, and then do it again. Rotate the palm to face behind you, so thumb is going to point down. And then rotate the palm to face forward so the thumb points up. One more, rotate, spin the palm to face behind you, nice and slow. And then rotate, spin the palm to face forward. From here, make a little fist and roll the fist out in space, still keeping wrist in line with shoulder as best you can. Don't worry if the shoulder feels like it's working really hard. We'll stretch that out soon. Pause and reverse the direction of your circles. And then maybe get a little more free form and intuitive. Last inhale. Exhale, lift the head, float open the eyes, left fingertips to the top of the left shoulder, right hand can rest in your lap. And as if you had a pen tip on the end of your elbow, I want you to draw a circle with your left elbow, just loosening up all the muscles that just had to hold that arm upright in space. And after you circle, one more time, pause, and then reverse, circle the opposite way. So same thing, opposite direction. Clockwise to counterclockwise and vice versa, forward to back, however you want to think about it. One more circle with your breath. And then relax, roll both shoulders out once or twice. Try to get any tension that crept in there to alleviate. And then switch sides, left ear to the left shoulder, or vice versa. If you already did that side, spin the gaze down and towards the left, and then tuck your chin to your chest. You'll take your left hand up and overhead, find either the back right corner of your skull, or you can go temple or behind that, whatever feels comfortable, but then relax the shoulders down towards the floor. Take your right arm this time open to the right. If you need a visual, the eyes can stay open, but if you can relax into it, maybe close the eyes down, and then point your fingertips to the floor. And then point your fingertips to the ceiling, moving from the wrist, so flexing, extending to start, and then do it again. Fingertips point down, fingertips point up. One more, fingertips point down. Fingertips point up. And then back to neutral, pause, spin the palm to face behind you. So now we've got a rotational aspect to it. And then spin the palm to face open. When the palm faces open, the thumb points up, and then reverse it again. Spin the thumb to point down, so palm faces behind you. And then spin the palm to face open, thumb points up. One more time, spin the palm to face behind you, thumb points down, and then spin the palm to face open, thumb points up. Good, from there, ball the hand up into a little fist, and start to rotate the fist in space. So wrist, shoulders, maybe even elbow, forearm area, neck and upper back. Become aware of anything and everything going on in that area. And then pause, reverse, go the opposite direction. Circle it out, keep a nice slow breath going. Last two. And one, and then head and neck can lift upright. Blink the eyes open. Left hand to your left thigh. Right fingertips to the top of the right shoulder. And same thing, draw a forward circle to start. Try to get your fullest range of motion, which is relative to you. And then pause and do the opposite. Do a backwards range of motion, or vice versa. And one more shoulder roll with your breath. Pause, release that, roll the shoulders out 2 at a time, intuitively. Maybe go in both directions, forward and back. And then for the next pose, we're going to lie down on our back. So any props that you have can go off to the side for now. If you've got a dog on your mat, you might have to wake them up and get them out of your way. She's been here all day. Sorry about that. She's probably going to hop up on the couch, so you might see the thing shake a little bit. There we go. Now she's out of the way. Roll all the way down onto your back. As you come onto your back, take your palms of your hands, place them on your belly. Try to get your thumbs to go over top of the bottom ribs and your pinky fingers to go over the crest of your pelvis if you've got the capacity for your fingers to stretch that wide. We're all different proportions. So if you can't get thumb to one place, pinky to another, don't worry about it. Just use that as a little bit of a marker to make sure that your ribs aren't flaring forward and back and your pelvis isn't tipping forward and back. So if you need to, you can pick one area or the other if you know you have a spot that tends to not really follow the directions. And then draw your shoulders down and back. Lift your legs to 90 degrees. So you want ankles in line with knees, knees above the hips. Point the toes like a Barbie doll, so plantar flexion. And then without bending the knees anymore, all you're going to do is tap the right toes to the floor. And then lift the right leg back up. And switch. Tap the left toes to the floor. And pick the left leg back up. So really good for back tension or core instability. Right toes tap. And lift. Left toes tap. And lift. And then try to keep reminding your shoulders to relax down and back. They love to bubble up. They love to curl towards the ceiling. So try to prevent that as best you can. And keep it going. Same thing. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Now, most of us will kind of get the hang of this and then keep going, because this can actually be a little bit tiring after a while. But if you want more than just this, and if you know your rib cage and pelvis aren't really rocking forward and back, they're staying pretty stable, you can reach the arms up into the air, palms face one another, and you can alternate. When the left toes tap down, the right arm can reach up and overhead, and then you come back to your starting point. And then when the right toes tap down, the left arm can reach up and overhead, and then you come back to your starting point. So if that's a nice pattern for you, if you feel like you want to take on a little bit more effort, go for it. If you feel like that's too much, or instantly your hip flexors and your thigh area feels like it's doing all the work, then you want to pull it back into the belly. So maybe simplify if that's the case. And then one more level for those of you feeling really good. We're not here much longer, but what you can do to make it one extra level of depth is you can glide the leg out towards straight as the opposite arm reaches up and overhead, and then come back to your starting point, bend the knee, wrist above the shoulder, and then glide the opposite leg out towards straight as the corresponding arm, the opposite arm reaches up and overhead. So whatever you decide to do, any of those 3 levels of the same exercise, just take it really slow. Try to avoid letting momentum come into the equation. Momentum loves to creep in, and then we lose all the effort. We lose all the stability and control. The last couple of breaths, it should be getting a little tiring at this point. Maybe it was tiring a long time ago, and that's okay. The point of this is to kind of wear out the muscles to the point of healthy stress, where they decide, oh, I should get stronger than I am to support the potential for this exercise to happen again. One more of each, last cycle. Right side and center, left side and center, and then both feet step flat. Arms release, palms face down alongside of you. Try to feel that your feet are parallel, hips width apart. Tone into your belly just a little bit, and you want the lower part of your glutes to help you with this. And then you'll inhale, lift the pelvis up, reach the arms up and overhead until the backs of the hands find the floor. And then exhale, circle right back down, pelvis to the ground, palms of the hands find the ground. Repeat 3 more times on the breath. Inhale, pelvis lifts up, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, lower it back down to earth, pause. Again, inhale, lift up and over, pelvis to the sky. Exhale, settle back down. Last one, just like that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Happy baby. Take your time, hug the knees in, split the thighs, and then you decide. Grab the outer feet, grab the big toes, grab heels or pant legs or thigh bones, whatever works. Rock a little side to side, front to back. And then hug the knees together, roll to one side. Keep it simple. Press yourself upright to sit. Sit comfortably one more time, whatever that means for you. And then goalpost the elbows, palms face forward. Right elbow stacks underneath the left and choose your eagle arms. Grab shoulders or backs of palms together, or maybe the palms touch. You decide. And then you'll lift the elbows up, reach the elbows forward, melt that shape down to your heart, and keep it all as you tilt your right ear towards your right shoulder again. Spin your gaze down and towards the right, and then chin to chest. Now, once you get there, close your eyes, soften your jaws, deepen your breath. And then if you prefer to stay still, that's an option. Or maybe you rock the head side to side and really see what area of the left side and the left back of the neck might be giving you some trouble or congealing a little bit. Maybe there's one angle of muscle tissue on the back of the neck where you can really feel a stretch. So kind of breathe with that and picture yourself infusing any tense or tight tissues with your attention and your breath. And that's a meditation technique to help people to sit longer and more comfortably. Breathing into whatever's uncomfortable until it dissipates. Next inhale, keep the arms, but lift the head, float open the eyes, and just turn your gaze over the right shoulder, see if you get stuck anywhere. And then come back to center, pause, and turn the gaze over the left shoulder instead. See if you get stuck anywhere. And then back to center, unravel the arms, goalpost again, twist to the right, pause, using the belly to twist, float the arms down, right fingertips behind you, left hand, right thigh. And then you don't want the chin to go farther than your right shoulder. You'd probably have to try pretty hard to get to that place, but you want the chin to land somewhere between the center of your chest and your right shoulder, so you're not cranking the neck too hard. In fact, everything we do with the neck, we want to be kind of soft and gradual. And then you'll exhale, come back to center. If you're able to switch the cross of your ankles, go ahead and switch that up, and then you'll goalpost the elbows, palms face forward. Second side, left elbow under the right, and then same thing, grab shoulders or backs of palms or palms together. From there, you'll lift the elbows up, reach the elbows forward, and melt that shape down to your heart. Now keep that, go left ear, left shoulder this time. Spin your gaze down and towards the left, and then tuck your chin to your chest, close your eyes, and start by noticing. We tend to get ambitious. We tend to want to jump right into whatever's happening. But instead, take a moment just to acknowledge your starting point, and then you can rock the head side to side if you choose. And you're always welcome to skip the extra movements and just do a simple exploration. Maybe find one angle and stick with it. Either way, imagine your breath could move into that right side of your upper back, wherever you feel a stretch. We're here for 3. And 2. And then last one, deep breath in. Exhale, lift the head, float open the eyes, unravel the arms. One more time, same thing, twist to the left. And then float the arms down, left fingers behind you, right hand, left thigh. Shoulders down the back. And then as you come back to center, without the eagle arms this time, just turn your gaze to the right, see if you get stuck. And then come back to center, pause, and turn the gaze to the left. Same thing, see if you get stuck. Hopefully it's balanced. Maybe it's not, but now you have more information. Come back to center, and let's find our way to down dog from here. So find a way up and forward over your shin bones. Maybe you roll over them just like that, or maybe you swivel to one side. Place your palms shoulder width apart. Step your feet back to about hips width apart, and then gently, mindfully start to bend one knee at a time. Straighten out the opposite leg, and settle your heels towards the floor. Now grip the mat with your hands. Push the mat away with everything you've got. Wrap the upper outer arms down, which is a good way to stabilize the shoulders and give some space and freedom to the neck. And then keep it going with the legs. One knee bends, the opposite leg straightens. Heels drip towards the floor, which is relative, so we're never really concerned about getting to the floor. That's more of an anatomical thing than anything. So some of us are built for the poses to look a certain way. Others of us are built for the poses to look a completely different way, which is the beauty of it all. Now let's do some standing work. So inhale, pick your right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Keep the hips squared for today, so keep the toes pointing down. And then exhale, right knee to your nose, come forward, lift the shin bone up, look between your thumbs, and step the right foot forward. Or grab the heels, sweep it up. So same thing as usual, whatever works to get there. Fingertips or blocks can frame out the right foot. Inhale, straighten out the right leg. And then exhale, bend both knees and just tap your left knee to the floor, getting into the hip flexors a little bit. And then again, inhale, straighten out both legs. Exhale, bend both knees, tap the left knee down. 2 more times with your breath. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend, tap. And again, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend, tap. Now inhale, straighten just the left leg behind you. Right knee stays bent to a square. Left palm goes flat. Lean back, peel the right arm up into the air. Find a twist. And then right arm up and overhead, palm facing down. And this time looking at a bigger range of motion from your right shoulder blade. Make 3 big, slow, reachy shoulder circles. You can bend the elbow or keep the arm straight, whatever you like. And after 3 of those come to completion, pause, reverse, and take 3 going the opposite way. And of course, if that doesn't feel good and you want to skip that and just reach up and overhead, that's an option too. When you finish with your last circle, pause, look down, right fingertips come down. You'll pop up onto your left fingertips and then step forward, top of the mat, left foot meets the right. Inhale, palms to shins or fingers down, half lift lengthen as you double check your feet are parallel. Exhale, fold forward over your legs, maybe bend the knees a little more. And then ground through your feet. Inhale, reach the arms around and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Try to touch your ceiling with your ring fingers. And exhale, Samastitihi, circle the arms down, palms meet in prayer. And then let's do it again, same thing. Inhale, circle the arms around and up, reach your ring fingers towards the ceiling. And this time, exhale, swan dive all the way forward, but keep your core muscles turned on as you fold and touch the mat, or your shins, or your blocks. Inhale, half lift lengthen, make some space for your spine, and then exhale, plank pose, top of a push-up. So bend your knees, place your palms, step back. Now, option number 1, down dog right off the bat, or even child's pose. Option number 2, knees can come down or knees can stay up, chest spins forward, lower halfway down, and then come all the way down to your belly. Point your feet, squeeze your legs. Inhale, little baby cobra pose. Nothing too crazy to start, just opening up through the front of the chest. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Hips press up, thigh bones press back. Pedal out the feet, see if anything's changed. And before we even get to the left side of those first few poses, melt the knees down, tabletop. Inhale, cow pose your spine, crown of the head and tailbone lift up. And then exhale, cat pose your spine and get the neck involved by tucking the chin more and try to spread the shoulder blades wider apart. And then 2 more of each. Inhale, cow, take your time, chest moves forward. Exhale, cat, hollow out the belly and round the back. And then last one, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Back to neutral. Hands walk a little bit forward, curl the toes. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. When you get there, pedal out the feet. And let's do our second side of those first few standing poses. So inhale, left leg lifts up into the air this time. Exhale, left knee to your nose. Lift the shin bone up round the back. Look where you want to step and then step the left foot forward. Or of course, if you can only step halfway or so, grab that heel, step it up, do what you can to get there. Eventually, you want to land knee above the ankle and then find your fingertips or find your props. Inhale, straighten out the left leg. Straight is relative, so it might not even change much. Exhale, bend both knees and just tap the floor with your right knee. And then do it again. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend and tap. 2 more, nice and slow. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend, tap. And then last one, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend, tap. Now inhale, straighten out the right leg behind you. Left knee stays as is, bend to a square. Right palm flat or palm to a block. Peel the left side body open. Lean back, stretch up. And then take your left arm up and overhead, palm facing down. And from your left shoulder blade, moving slowly, you've got 3 slow circles. Mindfulness is key, so you're just watching this range of motion as you move through it. Pause after 3 and reverse it. 3 going the opposite way. Slow and easy. And then when you finish, look down. Left fingertips come down, pop up onto your right fingertips, and step forward, top of the mat. Right foot meets the left. Inhale, half lift, lengthen, palms to shins or fingers down. Exhale, fold over your legs. Press down through your feet. Inhale, reach the arms around and up. Ring fingers, reach for the ceiling. Exhale, Samasthiti, palms together in front of your heart. Little pause to reconnect. And then here we go again. Inhale, circle the arms up. And exhale, swan dive forward, nice and slow, touch the mat. Now this time it's a little different. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold over your legs, bend your knees, place your palms, step back to plank pose or skip it. You could go child's pose if you need a rest. We are going to meet there very soon. From plank, if you're up for it, lean forward, lower halfway, and then come all the way to your belly. The knees down way is easier, so always keep that in mind. Now this time, instead of cobra, point your feet and pop up onto your elbows for Sphinx pose. So forearms are going to be parallel like a number 11. And then you'll inhale, drag your chest forward through your arms, stretch out the front body, just like cow pose in a cat-cow. Exhale, tuck your chin, curl your toes, tone your belly, lift your hips. Forearm plank. So here's where the core work comes in and the back body gets a little stronger. Take an extra inhale, squeeze the elbows together, firm your navel, your belly button towards your spine. And then with control, maybe the knees come down first. You're going to lower the pelvis back down to the ground slowly. When the pelvis comes down, point the feet. Inhale again. Curl the chest forward, Sphinx pose. Exhale, release all the way down. See if you can clasp hands behind your back. And then inhale, Shalabhasana. Reach the knuckles back, lift the forehead, chin, and chest up. Maybe even lift the legs. And if you just can't interlace fingers, it doesn't feel right, just reach the arms back, palms face one another. Take another inhale, stay. Exhale, release that, palms under shoulders, press back, child's pose. Pause for a moment in a neutral child's pose. And then let's tap into the neck and shoulders from here. Inhale, lift the chest just a little bit. Take your right arm, thread it underneath the left side of the chest, palm facing open. Right temple can sink down to the mat. Breathe into that sticky space between the right shoulder blade and the spine. And then release that. Let's switch sides. Right arm forward. Left arm threads underneath the right side of the chest, palm facing open. Let this be an opportunity to reconnect with your breath if your breath is feeling off, or maybe you just haven't thought about it in a little while. One more here, slow, steady inhale. Exhale, unwind, left arm forward. Press down, lift up through tabletop. Adjust, curl the toes, downward facing dog, stretch into the legs. Pedal out the feet. Rock the hips side to side. We've got one more standing sequence, but we're gonna link some poses together and get into the core, the neck, the shoulders, the thighs, the hips, all of it, all at once. Inhale, right leg lifts up into the air again. Exhale, knee to the nose, come forward, lift the shin bone up and step the foot between your thumbs, or find a better way, which is all good. Fingertips or blocks or something else if you've got something that works better. Inhale, straighten out the right leg just like last time. And then exhale, bend both knees, tap the floor, just like last time. One more like that. Inhale, straighten the legs. Straight is relative. Exhale, bend the knees, tap the floor. This time, scoot the left knee back as far as you can get it, point the left toes, and then inhale, cow pose your spine, lift your heart. Exhale, cat pose your spine and round your back. Again, inhale, cow pose your spine, heart lifts up. Exhale, cat pose, round your back. 2 more. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then last one, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Now come back to neutral, curl the left toes, lift the left knee. Make sure that your feet are hips width apart, and then root down through your feet to rise all the way up to stand crescent lunge. And I want you to pay attention to the midsection of your body. And what tends to happen is we arch the back a little bit, and that puts pressure on the lower back. So instead, ribs towards the spine, tailbone towards the floor. So you're trying to neutralize this whole area. And then once you've got things situated, arms reach up into the air. Take an inhale, straighten out the right leg as best you can. And then take an exhale, come halfway forward, right knee bends, arms sweep back. And then repeat 2 more times. Inhale, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, come halfway forward again, arms sweep back. 1 more, inhale, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, halfway forward, and you stay. Now for some of us, this is the pose, so you can just hang on to this one. Others of us, maybe the left foot hops in halfway and you find a balance, tapping the left toes down like a kickstand. Others of us, you can float the left leg up into the air, warrior 3. And this is going to be the harder variation on that very same pose, because these poses are all doing the same thing. The chest reaches forward regardless, and the breath gets slower instead of disappearing. 3 and 2. And 1. Now with or without help from your hands, left toes tap down, back of the mat. Maybe they've been there. Circle around and open to your left and find right side warrior 2. So take a moment, heel to arch alignment in your feet. Arms reach wide, hips sit low, and then you'll lean forward. Flip the right palm, inhale, peaceful warrior. And exhale, bring it halfway forward, side angle pose, top arm up and over. And then repeat, inhale, peaceful warrior, curl back. Exhale, side angle pose, come halfway forward. And then last one, inhale, peaceful. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior 2, press down, lift up. Same legs throughout. And then exhale, cartwheel the arms down, frame out your right foot. Spin to the ball of your left foot behind you. Set your left knee down and stretch your right leg towards straight. A bend in the knee is fine. Blocks or props underneath your fingertips might be helpful. Inhale, chest towards your right big toe, shoulders back. And then exhale, fold over your right leg. And you can close your eyes, deepen your breath. Slow, steady breathing. 3 more. Last 2, deep breath in. Exhale it out. Last 1, deep breath in. Exhale, bend the right knee, step the right foot flat. Walk the fingertips forward for support. Curl the left toes, lift the left knee, spin the left heel down like warrior 2 again. But this time, circle the arms around and open. You can straighten out the right leg, arms reach wide. Draw back on the right hip, lengthen forward, and then rotate. Right hand comes down to your shin, left arm peels up into the air. You can stay right there or spin the left palm to face behind you and drape the left arm behind your low back. Now, if you're going for that half bind, like I'm demonstrating, you can add a neck stretch by looking down and then tucking your chin toward your chest. So this whole back left corner of the neck and upper left corner of the back. They get a really nice release here if you can find the right angles. And the key is a heavy head, which usually we think about reaching into a stretch. This stretch is just heaviness once things are lined up. And we're here just for 3. And 2. And one. Now left arm peels back up into the air if it's not there yet. Press down, lift up, warrior two, rebend the front knee, arms reach wide. And then one big step if you can, step all the way forward, chair pose, top of the mat. Right foot meets the left. Inhale, sit low. It's like you're sitting just above a chair or hovering just above a chair. And then exhale, press to stand, Samasthiti, and try to really use the strength and power of your legs to come all the way upright, palms to prayer. Then reverse that, circle the arms around and up. Reach your ring fingers towards the ceiling. Exhale, swan dive all the way forward, touch the mat. Knees can bend as much as they need to. Inhale, look forward, lift halfway. And exhale, your choice, plank pose, downward facing dog, or child's pose. So I'm going to talk you through a harder variation from plank. We're going to repeat that little scenario that happened earlier. If you're in down dog or child's pose right off the bat, focus on your breath. Those of you with me in plank, lean forward, lower halfway, and then come all the way down. Point your feet, pop up onto your elbows, sphinx pose. Inhale, drag the chest forward. Remember, this is optional. You could even stay here instead of adding the forearm plank, or if you're ambitious, tuck your chin, curl your toes, tone your belly, lift up. Take one big inhale there. Exhale, back down to the mat. Slow with control, point the feet. Again, sphinx pose, drag the chest forward. And then release that down, clasp hands behind your back. Maybe you switch to the weird interlace if you're able. Squeeze the elbows in, reach the knuckles towards the heels, and then curl the chest up and curl the legs up. And then release that, place the palms. Let's all stop off in child's pose just for a moment. Knees wide, big toes together. Stretch the arms up and overhead. We're almost into stretch mode. We've just got to get through the left side. So slowly on your way up into down dog, lift through tabletop at first. Inhale, just one cow. Exhale, round into just one cat pose. And then back to neutral. Hands walk a little bit forward. Curl the toes, lift the hips, come back to downward facing dog. We've got that last little bit for the left side. So this is your last down dog. You can wiggle it out. Bend one knee at a time, straighten out the opposite leg. See how things are feeling. Left leg when you're ready. Inhale, sweep it up and back. Exhale, left knee comes forward. Lift the shin bone up. Step the foot between your thumbs or grab the heel, sweep it up. Find your fingertips or your props. And then we've got two of these. Inhale, straighten out the left leg. Exhale, bend both knees, right knee taps the floor. And then do it again. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend and tap. Right knee slides back as far as you can get it. Point the toes. Inhale, cow pose your spine. Exhale, cat pose your spine. Inhale, cow pose again. Exhale, cat pose. One more, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then come on back to neutral. Curl the right toes, lift the right knee. Feet are hips width apart, left knee bends to a square, and you'll root down to rise all the way up. Crescent lunge. Remembering the ribs will tend to flare forward, which looks like this. So ribs firm back towards the spine to get your belly more supportive. And then find a focal point. Do your best. Inhale, straighten out the left leg. Exhale, torso halfway forward, arms sweep back. And if you hate it, you can just stick with crescent lunge. Otherwise, repeat. Inhale, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, halfway forward, arms sweep back. And then one more, same thing. Inhale, stretch up. Find your balance. Exhale, halfway forward, arms sweep back. Now stay right there if you like, or maybe hop the right foot halfway in, or maybe float the right leg behind you. And either way, keep the chest reaching forward. Keep the collarbone spreading out, which will give you some space for the neck, and the shoulder blades draw down the back for the same reason. We're here for 3 and 2 and 1. Now slowly step it back. Maybe you've been here the whole time. 45-degree crescent lunge, pause. And then circle around and open to your right. Find left side warrior two. So left heel and right arch, try to line them up. Sit the hips low as you can get. Lean forward, flip the left palm, inhale, peaceful warrior. And then exhale, side angle pose. Come halfway forward. Good, put that on repeat. 2 more, inhale, peaceful. Exhale, side angle. Last one, inhale, peaceful. Exhale, side angle. And then inhale, warrior two, press down, lift up. Exhale, cartwheel the arms down, frame out your left foot. Spin to the ball of the right foot, right knee melts down, and then stretch your left leg towards straight. Inhale, half Hanuman, chest reaches forward, shoulders draw back, and then exhale, fold over your left leg. Tuck your chin. Eyes can close. Slow, steady breath. 4 more from here. Try to drop back into a deeper, slower breath. We do still have triangle pose to stand up into, but other than that, things are going to get really mellow. We'll get closer and closer to the ground with each pose. Last inhale here already. Exhale, bend your left knee, step your left foot flat. Walk the fingertips forward, curl the right toes, lift the right knee, spin the right heel down, think heel to arch, and then circle around and open into a straight-legged warrior two. Adjust your feet so you know your knees are happy, and then draw back on the left hip, lengthen forward, and rotate. Left hand comes down, right arm opens up. Spin the right palm to face behind you if you want to, and drape the right arm behind your low back in a half bind. If you go for that, you can find a little neck stretch by looking down and tucking the chin. And then other than that, you're just working on the breath. We're here for 4. Make sure your toes aren't gripping the mat. They're spread out nice and wide, but they're soft. We're here for 3. And then last 2. And one more deep breath in. Exhale, peel the right arm back up into the air. Press down, lift up, warrior two. So bend the front knee, pause, and then see if you can make it one big step forward. Right foot meets the left, chair pose just for a moment as you land. Nice, you guys. And then push the ground away. Stand up tall, circle the arms down, palms meet at your heart. Now this time we're just gonna get back onto the mat. So inhale, circle the arms around and up. Exhale, swan dive forward slowly. Inhale, look forward, lift halfway. And then you're gonna make your way to a seat. So maybe bend your knees, sink your hips, keep sinking and bending until you can sit your bottom down without your hands, or maybe you use your hands. And then cross your legs or find a more comfortable way to sit and see if you can interlace fingers behind your back. If the interlace isn't something that you're able to work with, grab something nearby, like a tea towel or even a sock or a t-shirt or something like that. Hold it between your hands and then squeeze the elbows in to open the chest. Keep that, stretch your knuckles down. And then bring your knuckles to the right side of your ribs as best you can get them there. Firm your ribs back towards your spine and tilt your right ear towards your right shoulder. So everything goes to the right, and then you'll spin your gaze down and towards your right. Keep that, tuck your chin a little closer to your chest. And then with all of that as is, you can rock the head from side to side. Lift and lower the chin or circle it out. Same exploration we did in eagle arms, except we're reversing the direction of what the shoulders are doing. Remember, with eagle arms, the shoulder blades spread apart. So we worked on the space between them. With this particular clasp of the hands, we've got the shoulder blades squeezing together so that the front of the chest opens up more. Take one more inhale to explore. Exhale, head and neck come upright. Reach the knuckles down, maybe switch over a finger in your interlace, or maybe you've got the only thing you can work with, which is fine. If you want to switch the cross of your ankles, just to switch things up a little bit, you can go for that. And then knuckles move to the left side of your waistline this time. Squeeze the left elbow in towards the right, and then tilt your left ear towards your left shoulder. Spin your gaze down and towards the left. And then tuck your chin to your chest. Close the eyes if you're comfortable with that, and then rock the head from side to side. Slow and easy for 3. And 2. And 1. Head and neck lift back upright. Release the arms, roll the shoulders out once or twice, and then bring the feet together and the knees wide. Baddha Konasana. I'll spin to face you guys so it's a little easier. So knees wide, feet together. You can either wrap your peace sign fingers around your 2 big toes or interlace your fingers like a little basket for all of your toes. Inhale, lengthen forward and use whatever's more comfortable. And then exhale, bend the elbows, fold over the legs. Keep the chest reaching, but then the head can get heavy. Shoulders down the back for 3. And 2. And 1. Now slowly lift all the way up with a flat back. Release your toes, help the knees together. Stretch the legs straight forward. Inhale, both arms reach up. Belly tones. And then exhale, hinge at your hips, bow over the legs. And let the arms float down into whatever position they land in. The arms really aren't even important. It's just about that reach of the spine. So from the side, instead of cat pose happening in your back, which is how we put pressure in the low back, think cow pose happening to lengthen, then make your fold. And we talked about focusing on the neck a little bit. Even though this seems like a hamstring and lower back and lower body pose, sometimes the neck can be affected by the way the lower body is tightened up. So getting into the lower body is actually a very helpful way to get rid of neck tension as well. The lower body is tight, we always want to make sure the neck releases too, and vice versa. Otherwise, you're just kind of chasing the tension. Next inhale with a flat back, you can rise all the way up. If you do have a block, keep it handy because I'll give you another neck release that you can do in place of Shavasana. If you don't have a block, you'll be okay, but you might want to just listen to it so that you know what it is for future reference in case you ever need to release your neck. But either way, you're going to scooch forward a little bit and roll down the length of your spine with or without your hands. And let's do 3 more of those kind of dancing bridge poses. So step your feet in a little closer. Feet hips width apart and parallel. Arms released, palms facing down. Gaze is straight up at the ceiling. And then just 3 of these. Inhale, lift the pelvis up, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, let all those body parts come back down the way they came. And then repeat, inhale, pelvis lifts up, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, everything settles back down. And then 1 more, inhale, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, circle back down. Right ankle crosses over the left thigh, figure 4. Stay right there with the left foot flat or pull the left thigh in if you would like, and you can clasp hands behind it. Just for a brief little venture into pigeon pose. You might like to rock side to side. I always find the extra movements really helpful here. Or you might be more interested in stillness and effortlessness once you get your poses set up from here on out. Take 1 more inhale, stay. Exhale, release that and stretch the thigh bones apart. Right knee hugs in, left leg reaches forward. And then you'll take the outer right thigh in your left hand, drape the leg across you as you peel the right arm open to the right. And then nice and easy, come back to center and switch right foot flat, left ankle, right thigh. Maybe that's your pose. Maybe you pull the right thigh in if you want a little extra. And again, you can clasp hands behind the thigh if you want to go that far, if you've got the energy left and maybe a deeper stretch serves you better. Now draw the shoulders down and back either way. Maybe rock a little side to side, that's up to you. And we're here for 3. We're here for 2. We're here for 1. Come on, back to center, release that. Left knee hugs in, right leg stretches out towards straight. Reach the thigh bones apart. And then take that outer left thigh in your right hand, drape the leg across you. Left arm can peel open to the left. As you come back to center, made it to Shavasana, so slide the legs out as wide as your mat, or at least shoulder width apart, and then see what feels good. And if you do have a block or a prop that's similar to a block, it could even be a frozen water bottle or a couple of tennis balls or lacrosse balls, anything at all, but you can place that behind your head. The key is to get the corner of the block or the edge of the water ball or the tennis balls into the occipital ridge area, which is where 2 thumbs would sink into 2 little pockets right at the base of your skull. So don't overthink it, but if you do have a block handy, you might like to set the block up like I've got mine, the medium setting, perched right behind the head, almost like a little shelf for the base of the skull. And then once you find that shelf, which might feel like pressure or tenderness, you just let gravity do the rest of the work. Spin the palms open, close the eyes down, and take your Shavasana. So remember, the block add-on is just an extra. If you don't have a prop nearby, or you just don't feel like you need to go in that direction, and the back of the head's heavy on the floor. The next couple of minutes, you've got the opportunity to do less. Natural heart rate and breath rate will keep everything as it should be. So your thought rate and your focus can dissipate. You can just allow for the next few minutes to rejuvenate you. Now, if you've got time to stay and rest longer, always feel free. In fact, I encourage it if you've got the extra time. If If you're feeling like you're ready to come back, start by deepening the breath. As the breath gets deeper and deeper, move your toes, move your fingers. Rock the head from side to side, and if you've got a prop underneath you, you might feel a few more little tender spots under your skull, so you can kind of massage them out. And then lift your head just enough to support it with one hand. Remove any props with the other hand, if you've got props underneath you. And then come all the way back down to the mat. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little side to side. Ease your way up and over to your right side, maybe the left if it feels more intuitive, but curl into a fetal position just for a moment. And then push the ground away, come all the way upright to sit. Last pose, just checking in, palms together in prayer as you arrive. Do a body scan to see how everything's feeling. Finish with an Om. Join or listen. Your choice. Deep breath in. Bow your head to your heart. The light in me honors that very same light in each of you. Namaste.